Hey chappies, I just wanted to do a quick video for you guys as well. A lot of people have been asking me about systems and how they get the best out of this tool. Now, the way I see it, guys, is that data can only show you so much. And for me, I use this software every single time that I do an in-play trade. However, the data can only show you so much. It can only point you in the right direction. For example, it's like the Racing Post. The Racing Post has all the winners there, but it's how you find them. And there's no, for me, I don't think there is a system out there that says if you do this against horses that have done this, dobbed this many times in this setting, if this and that and that and this, and we'll dob 7 out of 10 times, and therefore we'll make money. Life, for me, from my personal point of view and my personal experience, I don't think life's that easy. I don't think there is ever a system or a strategy that is data driven that will stand the test of time. Because man, if there is something out there, then man will ruin it. It's like marketing, for example. It's like email. When email first came along, it was the best thing sliced bread. But the marketers have ruined it because too many people market on email, so therefore it's very, very hard now to make money from email marketing. It's kind of like, it's a really bad analogy, but it's kind of like the same with everybody was doing front runners. And as soon as everybody starts doing it, there was an edge before. There was a massive edge. And now there is still an edge, but you have to find the right horse. You have to find the right circumstances for that horse to be successful. If you just do front runners all the time, I can guarantee you will lose money. There is no two ways about it now. If you just do front runners, you will lose money. And so you need a little bit more than that simple strategy. For me, you need to be able to determine a little bit of race reading, a little bit of form, and this data is incredible. The data that we have got on this software, if I do say so myself, I think it is without doubt the best software out there to point you in the right direction, not just to give you horses to trade, because giving you horses to trade, it will never ever be the right solution, the right system for longevity. I'm all about long-term winning and long-term profitability. I'm not interested in a system that works for a month or a system that works for 2 months. It doesn't interest me. It shouldn't interest you either. It's all about long-term profitability that matters for me. And so, for example, I don't believe that you can just use data alone and make a profit long-term. I believe there's got to be a little bit of your awareness, your race reading, having a look into it, just delving that little bit deeper than other people will delve. So, for example, this horse here, I've been looking at it all the time, and if you look at it, made all, push clear, broke well to lead and crossed to inner, made all, ridden, steady start, pulled very hard. But if you look at these stats, I mean, these stats are incredible. Out of its 9 races, it's dobbed 8 times, but it's not just dobbed. I mean, blooming heck, 100%, 58%, 100%, 54%, 100%, 80%, well, 79%, 70%. Now, this horse is certainly one that I would take a closer look at. Now, when I say a closer look, I would definitely look into the stats of this horse. You know me and my replays. I love replays. I like the fact that it says made all. It gives you an idea. I know straight away that this horse likes to make all, obviously. And we know that the jockey, we can see who the jockey was. So we know, ticking the right box, we know that the jockey understands the horse because Holly has rode it before. And so we know twice out of the last 2 or 3 out of the last 5 runnings have been with this jockey. So that, again, is a positive. I believe that we need to, I can't think of the correct words and terminology, but it's just that we need some of our personal touch to make an in-play trade, to make it profitable. Because at the end of the day, if you're just using data, don't get me wrong, this data that we've given you, the data that you've got here, you will be far ahead of the crowd because you know with a touch of literally the information that you can get now from this software, you can see straight away with a touch of a button or just a stroke of your mouse. You can see exactly how the horse has run previously. So it's time saving, it saves time. And so you're already ahead of the curve. You already have armed yourself with more information than most of the population. But then I would just go that little bit further. I would go onto the betfair.com site and I would watch the race replays. That's my personal preference. You don't have to make it profitable. But all I'm saying is that just look that little bit further. An example, the horse price as well. Betfair current price. That's why we put it up there. I'll snooze that. That's why we put it up there, because for me it's really, really important, the criteria of a horse. One of my systems, I say systems, and not really systems, I don't like horses that are anything above 10, for example. I don't, because if they're above 10, then the market can easily forget about it because of a percentage it's taken up in the market, and I don't know, I just seem to think that the in-play boys can soon forget about that horse and put it to the back of their minds because it's not at the forefront of a percentage-wise of the race in terms of bookmaking, the bookmaker's percentage. And so I don't seem to like horses. I mean, it could be different for you, and maybe it's because of the money I put on, because if I put more money on at 10, that means that I've got to get more money out at 5. And so I find that a little bit more difficult if I'm putting £100 or £200 at them prices to get out. And if there's a lot of us doing the same thing, then it's almost impossible to get out. So that's why I don't like it. It's more liquid. The lower the price is obviously more liquid as well. So for me, I like to focus on horses that are towards the fronter end of the market. The fronter end, yes, that is good English. And that is where I am more profitable. You will very, 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 very rarely see me advise a horse back to it, unless it's in the Gold Cup or something like that, that's above 10s. Because there's not the liquidity there. I say that word wrong all the time. There's not the money there. There's not the money there for that horse in play. And so therefore I'm not really interested in it. So I would definitely refine how you search for horses and just have parameters, and just use the best way to use this software is a guide to show you the way, to point you in the right direction, and then do some extra research on top of that. I'm not saying you have to, because I don't want to make this any more complicated than it has to be, because people want it to be very, very simple and easy to use to find dobs. Listen, if you just look at this stats, you can see here that this horse will dob more times than it won't right now in current form. And the great thing is, at Lingfield, drawn in stall 1 as well. I think the draw is important to get an angle on where the horse is drawn. Stall 1, ping out the gates, and I'm sure that this horse today, I mean, I've got it to look at have a look at the replays, but I haven't yet. But I'm sure, drawn in stall 1, that this horse will lead. But it's also worth noting that if you are doing a horse that leads, then just to make sure that it's not going to get taken on for the lead, just head on over to the to the races, and click on the 130 and just go through the horses and see how many horses have led. And if it is going to get taken on, but also look at the draw as well, because you need to be low. It's an advantage to be low at Lingfield. And I certainly would, if a horse is drawn 8 or 9, then it wouldn't worry me too much, because it's got to do a hell of a lot of work to get in the vanguard and get up front. And so that maybe wouldn't worry me, maybe would worry you. It's all individual. We are all individual. How we interpret this data will be different for everyone. That's the beauty about it, because if everybody uses this software, did exactly the same thing, then we would all lose. Because the more people do what we're doing, the less chance we've got of getting matched, however minute the percentage is. So the 130 people, and I've already got over 20 people on the waiting list already for them when it opens again, but I want to make sure everything's perfect. I'm only going to open this software up 4 times a year, because for one, I can't cope with the support and also the licenses that we get from a third party. We can't have that many licenses as well at any one time because of the support as well. So it will be only opened up 3 or 4 times every single year, and that's enough for me anyway. So yeah, if we all do the same thing, we will lose. We will all lose. So it's better to have individual ways of doing things. And yes, I'm all for helping other people out and helping each other out. But at the end of the day, we will all do our own separate ways. We'll have our separate issues. We'll have our own ways of interpreting the data. And that's fantastic. That's why it works, Betting Nation. That's why it works. I'd also look at the horse's graph as well. Again, this is why it's important for me here. I want to know if this horse drifts alarmingly, then I would allow the price to dictate to me saying that there's something wrong here. There's something in the market that I don't know about. There's an anomaly there that I haven't factored in because I don't know about this anomaly, and it could be bullshit. It could be relevant, but it also could be very relevant. And I'd rather be safe than sorry and protect my bank than rather than taking a chance. This software is all about taking the guesswork out of the situation. And if there's a horse that drifts, then it's a no-no for me. It would probably be a no-no. I mean, I say probably. I'm trying to think of an occasion where if it doubled in price 4 to 8, would I be interested? No. And there's a lot of arguments to say it's better value at 8. Yes, it probably is. But there's a factor there that I don't know about. But there's a driving force that has made that gone from 4s to 8s. And therefore, I'm not interested. It's not something that I'm willing to take the chance on. So hopefully, Betting Nation, this has pointed you in the right direction that this software, it doesn't have all the answers. It's not the magical golden ticket for you to never lose. This software is only as good as you use it. It points you in the right direction. It gives you the tools and it gives you the information. The best thing I think this software does, for me anyway, it saves me time. It saves me hours of research, of looking up the data on the Betfair. It saves me all that time because all the data is in one place. It saves me going to the Racing Post and seeing what the horse did last time out in terms of comments in running. It saves all that. And for me, that is the phenomenal part of the software, and I absolutely blooming well love it. Apart from the speed needs to improve, and we're on that, Betting Nation. I promise you we're on it. I've got Mahesh currently working on it all day today. He feels like he's got an idea as to what's going on with the speed and how we can improve it. And yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does. So Betting Nation, hopefully this is some relevance to you. The data is all there. Everything that you need to make in-play trades profitable and point you in the right direction is here. And it's how we interpret this information. And you guys might only like doing it on so many runners. So, for example, you might not be interested in a race with 13 on, or 13 plus. Don't go superstitious route with me. Do not do that, Betting Nation, because I will never ever be superstitious with you. If you find 3 drains, walk over 3 drains, because the superstition, it's all in your mind. You control it. Don't let superstition control the outcome of your life. You take... Anyway, this isn't Motivational Monday. I'm just trying to say, 13 is irrelevant. If it's because of the number, i.e. the higher the amount of runners, then fine. But don't do it because it's 13. So, for example, I don't like small runners, small races, 4, 5. I question 5 purely because of a tactical race or the way it's going to unfold. That doesn't suit my in-play trades, and as somebody rightly pointed out on Twitter, that I've got a terrible record when it comes to 4 or 5 field races. And so therefore I looked at it and I thought, well, actually, yeah, there's a point there, because there's a tactical anomaly that I don't know. And so therefore, let's not do it. So Betting Nation, I hope that helps somewhat. Like I said, the information's there, the software is amazing, I love it anyway, and I know from the feedback that you guys absolutely love it as well, and I much appreciate that. However, it's only as good as yourself. It's only as good as how you interpret it. And so just play around with it, play around with the different data, and dig that little bit deeper, Betting Nation. The person who does the most work generally does the best. Betting Nation, have an awful day. Have an awful day. That's not very nice to say, is it? Have an awesome day, and I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.